Gonzalez Spencer, Spellbound. Nice to see you here. Haven't seen you in a while. China. Here we go. Winnie and Two, Manico Sala J, Manico Sala Cindy. I'm doing well. Hopefully all of you are doing well also. Let's just allow more people to log on. Manico Sala Mark, Manico Sala Gamerlight. Spellbound. I have no idea what you're talking about. Manico Sala Edwin. I have issues with this. Manico Sala Cyrus. Manico Sala Jason. It's a very hot day today, at least over here. So how are you guys doing? Let's just wait till a couple more people log on before we start. And like always, start dialogue eventually, and during this dialogue, just be respectful, stay civil with one another. Besides, that's what we have moderators for. So as like always, you can throw your questions along the way. Hi Gonzala lady, nice to have you on board. I guess you can spellbound. You can. And I'm gonna have this all night. Mother Gonzala, Kevin, Deron. All right, so I think we have enough people on board. So I get this question quite often. How can you tone down when either your pot, your cauldron, your talisman, whatever, anything with spirituality, it's overheated, overworked, energetically is hot, all right? And if you don't control that well, there's repercussions for that. So there's a drink that's called Sauco, and everybody over time has their own recipe. So I'll just give you the generic, which means those in the religion should know about this. If not, you're gonna know about it today. So you need a lutete, jicara, gourd. You're gonna need coconut water. When I'm doing this this type of, I always get the organic coconuts, even though up here they're like $4.50 a pop. But it's well worth it because they're usually much fresher. There's no mold or anything in them compared to the ones you get for like a buck. So Aguardiente. Aguardiente. This one so happens to be the brand Ogun. This is what you guys call fire water. Us Ricans tend to call it pitojo, which by all means is hard to get in any liquor store in the United States, unless you live in places like Florida, which is more the things for the religion are more commonplace than say here in Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, yeah. So it's just a mix of. Be careful how I tilt this phone because I got things in here I don't want people to see. Now, some people, like I said, we all have our own recipes because my recipe differs quite a ways from this one. But initially, I kind of sort of started with a recipe like that. It's been so that I can't really recall. But yeah, it was somewhere along the lines, almost like that. Simple. It does the job. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your pot, cauldron, talisman, whatever it is that has a spirituality there. Um, and you're just gonna pour. Well, if it's something small, I would just put in that drink, salco. If it's something bigger, then you're gonna, like I say, let's just say for nganga, you're gonna hit that nganga all throughout. Don't forget the sticks. Very, very important to hit the sticks with that. Now, of course, if you have multiple vessels, that little amount that I just did there is not gonna be enough because you gotta hit them with enough because you're trying to bring down the energies. This works in connection with, by this time, Kanya Brava, which is the bamboo shaft, will be overworked by this time. So after you do this process, then you're gonna have to open that up and replace the water that has consumed because energetically everything heats up and it does evaporate. So the more you work it, the more it's gonna consume. So there you go. You guys are constantly asking me. I mean, I gave you a generic recipe. That's not my personal. Colunchina. It's raining in Colorado. I wish it was raining here. It hasn't rained in a while. Malikon Sara, Lucero Mundo. Nice for you to join us. So, Malikon Sara, seek wisdom. It cools it off. It brings down, Mark. It brings down the energy that is so hot. It's so about ready to explode because I've had a shaft, the bamboo shaft before explode. I mean explode like splinters everywhere. Explode like a bomb. Once that pressure builds up. So this is one of the ways to bring it down. Oh, okay. You're welcome, Spellbound. Yeah, he is very good at what he does. Alright, Yaba. So, Mark, it is to energetically, like, pacify things. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. So then you come and you tap off the caña brava, the thermometer, which is the bamboo shaft, and help it continue to cool it down to stabilize that energy that is not in unison at that point. Well, Mark, you're gonna go in there as you're working. At least in my case, as I'm working with Anganga, like I told you, the palm of my hands gets hot. The temperature in the room gets hot. Um, when you start trying to do, let's say, spiritual work, the energy's not gonna be there. It's overloaded. It's trying to like push you off it. It cannot take any more until you help it out. It's a number of things, but you're gonna realize something's off. So yeah, like I said, a lot of people ask me that question. And there you go. There's nothing to that simple recipe. Although I think getting the actual aguardiente is probably the hardest part. It's not Bacardi, so I don't think it's Bacardi. Yes, Mark. Not by choice. It does that as a safety. It tries to slow everything down. Like I said that one time, I knew the energy was off. I knew it was overloaded. I knew that. I knew that. And but in order to save this person from a certain outcome, I sacrificed a goat, and let me tell you, that chef, it exploded. It exploded like if you would put a firecracker, say, in straw and light it up. That's how it exploded. No, spellbound. Sambuca is not a substitute for that. It's we know it as pitorro. The Cubans, they know it as aguardiente. You can check. I got mines in a liquor store in Florida, so I'm assuming you could go online, order it from there if they offer shipping, and get it shipped to your house. Again, I haven't checked liquor stores in New York or New Jersey, but here in Pennsylvania, I have never seen that here. Like usually my pitojo, the last one I got was my sister. She went to PR like 6 months ago, and she brought me back a bottle. You're welcome, Cecine. Sorry if I butchered your name. Yes, Cristal is a very good brand of that. Yeah, Cristal is a very good brand. It's actually smooth. This one is more fire water. You see? This is the Ogun brand. But Crystal, I know a lot of people that drink that. They actually enjoy that. Michael Sala, Manuel, nice for you joining us. Okay, so let's talk about like I said, as we're talking, you can ask questions. Just keep everything civil. Be civil towards one another, and I don't want none of that bad energy that takes place in other people's lives. So, well, the coins are placed in Ganga. Monetarily wise, that would be like to pay off the mother spirits, because the older spirits that reside in there, because you have spirits that go all the way down to Malongo, back in the Congo, before any European touched that continent, all the way down to the one that just died yesterday. But the new ones recognize that as money, but it's mainly done because the actual the metal, like the copper and the nickel and the zinc and all that, those are elements that are used by the Nganga a lot. So like I said, the modern spirits, you could pay them off with that, because they recognize that. The older spirits, I recommend cowrie shells, because they understood the value. That was their money once upon a time. They'll look at modern money as like, what is this? You know, this has no value to me. Kusara, Kinsango. Um, so let's talk about um. So you guys have heard of? Let me ask this: what is Mpolo? Mpolo. Tell me, somebody in there. I want to see how many people know what an Mpolo is. Spellbound, correct. This is spiritual powder. Correct, Jason. Magic powder. Notice how the key word is powder, right? I don't care how you call it. Jovan, powder, yes. Alright. So you have powder, you have Mpolos for all kinds of things. Even prosperity, right? But let's talk about a specific Mpolo called Mpolo Kubi. Now, this is only used for dark works. Alright. It's consecrated using the pact of Nkisi, Sigehato, and Dokimalo, or even Santayandoki, alright? Now, its main ingredient is Karazima. Karazima is what you guys know as charcoal. So, Karazima, charcoal, is the number one ingredient. But it also requires dirt from the cardinal points of the cemetery, 7 different graves, hospital, and especially the funeral home. Like I said, this is for bad works. This is not to help nobody out. So you can just only imagine what you're going to use this for. Now, as we all know, we work with Patipembas, this and the third, and it goes specifically on a brown paper bag because of the carbon that it holds. Now, usually, in combination with working with the carbon in that paper, our writing utensil, which would be a pencil because it's made out of carbon. All right, we're utilizing the carbon, just like we're made out of carbon. All right, except in this particular case, instead of using a pencil, the carbon, we're using manga fiota. Manga fiota is nothing more, nothing less than black ink. So this one is one of the very few works that you're not going to be using pencil. So after everything is burned and everything is mixed in together, this is the third. Everything must be consecrated. I'm not going to tell you all the ingredients. I am not going to tell you what time of day and where. And I'm not going to get into specifics. Just know that this right here. You see how it doesn't look brown like regular dirt? There's dirt in there. There's plenty of dirt in there, but the main ingredient is the charcoal. You see, it's all powder. It's not. Now, so let's just say you want to go into the courtroom. You're really against the wall. You have the district attorney. You have the judge. And people overlook the clerk. Those are the 3 that are going to come at you at any given time that when you're dealing with any legal works. Fine, if it requires a jury, you get 12 people. But not everything requires a jury, and not all the time you're going to have the same identical jury. You only get that once. You will never see those people in that formation ever again. It's a law. So the 3 that are always going after you, if you include them in that type of work and you go in there and you start sprinkling that in there, I guarantee you that there's going to be a mistrial at the very least. But we're not here to show people all the bad things. Santito, it all depends what type of Mpolo you're making. Every Mpolo takes different ingredients. Well, Sick Wisdoms, you didn't really miss no recipe because I did not give you all the ingredients. I didn't give you the time. I didn't give you a tratado. Without that, you have nothing. Like always, I speak, but I'm not going to betray this religion by giving somebody that's not initiated the power to go harm somebody else the right and correct way. It doesn't, that's not in me. So yeah. Now, you might ask, well, how can I protect myself from things like that? Whether it's that in Polo Kubi or whatever. First of all, if you're not initiated, I recommend that you hire an experienced Tata or Yaya to construct a talisman for you. Now, there's different types of talisman. Of course there is. There's a whole bunch. That distinguishes the price, and this is the third. The one I recommend for this type of protection against any type of witchcraft is the one that utilizes the iroko tree. And that is the only one that I could like certainly guarantee you that will stop any and all negativity from affecting you. Now, those of us that are initiated, thank you, Jason. And you know what? I want to see likes and shares. Come on, it doesn't really cost you. I only got 19 likes and there's almost 50 people on board. That's weak. I'm giving you a ton of information, you know, from the bottom of my heart, and you really don't have to kill yourself to receive the information. Right now, you're probably laying in bed watching this. For those of us that are initiated, besides certain things that you should have at different phases of your journey in the religion, but the number one thing is to make sure to feed your Ngusi and Dundun. Ngusi and Dundun is what we call the guardian spirits, okay? Because we have a ton of spirits that work with us in and out of the Ganga, but these are specific. The Ngusi and Dundun, they live inside the cauldron, outside the cauldron, outside your house, inside your house. They're trying to make sure they're taking care of you and yours and the Munanso itself. And those, I don't care what Rama, what branch you're from, this and the third. I don't care if you are in Kejo, Tata in Kisi Malongo, Tata in Ganga. I don't care who you are. You have those spirits. A lot of people associate them with your ancestors in Palo. So either way you can look at it, which way or form you want to look at it, we all have these. And Gusi and Dundu, very important. Usually, specifically, since I'm always feeding, I generally don't take a specific day just for them, because every time I feed, they're fed. But for those of you that the feedings are far and few in between, you can specifically do a feeding and you tell your pot that this is not only for them, but specifically for the Ngusi and Dundun. So yeah. Ngusi or Nguse. Doesn't matter. Ngusi or Nguse. With the E and thing on top. It's Criollo. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of books on Andres Petit. That don't pertain to me because that's Kimbisa, but I know there's plenty of literature out there. Thank you, Golden China. Mark, they gets fed whatever your Lucero and your Nganga gets fed. Consada, coffee. I see you join us. Spellbound, you can do that. You talk about the feeling of Entoto. That's when you also cleanse yourself with it. No, Mark, you're gonna feed them through your vessel. There you go, Jovan. You got it. Oh, any questions? Jeremy, Echu is Echu, and Aguaza Guan, Lucero is Lucero. Well, coffee, we talked about the specialty drink that we construct in Saoku is called. It's made from coconut water and aguardiente. And I'm only doing this because you're my godchild. I will tell anybody else go and watch the live once it ends. This is to when your vessel, your whatever, your Nganga, your Lucero, whatever, a talisman, whatever the vessel that has a spirituality that you work with, whenever it's off point because it's overloaded, overfed, overworked, when it's hot, the energy is hot. This is how we use it. That's what you use to cool it down. Of course, everybody has their own special recipe. I just gave you a generic that I believe that everybody knows about. If they didn't know, now they know it. Then we talked about the Mpolos Kubi, which is used for nothing bad. I'm not gonna really go back and just describe everything. You can watch it after the live, but you're up to date. And now we're answering questions. Spencer, it's very important for you to work with Basimbi. The Basimbi spirits, you're going to work with them just like you do in the Orisha or in the Impungo or your Eguns. Our ancestors worshipped them, venerated them as their ancestors. And now they've been thrown to the side and they're causing havoc because I am telling you, I remember years ago, if you were in tune to your energy, your spirits, you did a spiritual job within 3 days, signed, sealed, delivered. Now it's like it takes more and more and more and more. And I'm talking about good works. The evil works nowadays is faster, because the energy is nothing but negative. Kimbisa is very, very different than Berjumba. And just by you reading a little bit about Kimbisa, you figured that one out. Occulted, yes. The actual spirits, after a certain time, mine certainly, they did it not too long ago, again. They can manifest into human form. There's nothing wrong with that. Because you asked if there's do, do the Palos bears have any physical form like Orishas can have the form of humans, and they can do exactly the same thing. They can manifest into human form. And two, they shouldn't. They should not. But under certain cases, and you are far away from me, I give you permission to do it. We spoke about that. That's why you gotta learn how to know that aspect of the religion. Ross one of the forms of that is a certain. It's like a chichiriku. Apex, that's just a term. It's really the same thing. It's just a different potato. That's it. Spellbound, yes, you can work with the Bisimbis just like you do will work in the Malongo way. Just understand that the Impungos come first, then the Bisimbis. Because now you're dealing directly, you're dealing with Impungos, but you are initiating this religion. Now you're going to take care of your ancestors after you take care of the Impungos. Jeremy, I have no idea. Manifesting Goddess. Nice for you. Join us. I hope you guys are keeping cool because it's a heat wave. It's unbelievable. But Jeremy and Paolo, a bull is a it was Jeremy. Whoever was talking about the bull, it's a very important, powerful animal. Extremely powerful. So powerful that we make the alpacas out of its horn because we're trying to incorporate the spirit of the animal into what we're doing. Jovan, it was for you. Jovan's the one. Yes, Spencer. Then Pungo will be anywhere. Tree, a rock, whatever. Remember, nature. Nature is Palo, okay? You're welcome, Yaba. So, when the universe transformed himself into what we call this planet, it did it through transforming itself as nature. So the impungos are all aspects of nature. Every impungo, there's no way around that. So right now, you want to talk to Chola, your chances are is to get in that river to your waist and start talking to her and giving yourself cleansings, giving her fruit, this and the third, because that is her nature. Granted, you might go to somebody's house and they have a vessel which houses her energy. That's fine and dandy, but you're going to nature where everything comes from. Sorry, Spellbound. Yeah, Kofi said it felt like a dragon breath hit him as soon as he opened the front door. Because it's hot. Yes, of course. Well, actually, he's known to just jump from treetop to treetop, carrying the souls of the ancestors, this and the third, but in Cuyo's everywhere. Everywhere. Medical Sala Jesus Malverde. Sorry if I'm butchering. I'm sorry, but anyways, hello. Sisine, that is our house. Vence Batalla. If them that helps you out. Questi, yes, you can give a non-initiate on Makuto. It just has to be tied to the Tatas and Ganga or Yayas and Ganga for the simple fact that everything must go through Nganga in order to protect the individual because you're not supposed to be having control of any or try and order any spirit around if you're not initiated. So we do that in order to protect the individual. And on top of that, it makes it easier for feeding it, especially when somebody's far away from the godfather, godmother. Ross one, I've seen a lot of unique things, but the number one thing is, and I stopped doing it myself because it takes so much energy. It basically makes you sick. But the Tatas, children of Insasti, we have the gift of manipulating that fire. I mean, it's amazing what we're able to do, but I haven't done that a number of years because I gave a lot of my help away. Seek Wisdom, hit me up. Jason, send him my Gmail. You're welcome, Sissing. Oh, how you doing, Ricardo? Did you get that car? I got that message this morning, man. I've been busy, and it's like, and those that email me, be patient, and if you want to get my attention, just send more than one email because I'm so busy that it's hard for me to keep up with the emails. So, Par, what happens if someone engages in sexual activity with a palo altar in the room? You're gonna piss off, which is very logical to come to the conclusion. You're gonna piss off so many spirits that I cannot even tell you what's gonna happen to you. You're welcome, Ross One. Mariana C. Ricardo. So, unfortunately, I'm certain that people are so disgusting that they have no respect for this religion. They don't have respect for themselves, and yeah, they'll have sex in a spiritual room. I don't care what type of spiritual room we're talking about. I don't care if it's your eguns. I don't care if it's ocha, whatever. But I'm pretty certain that that's more common than what you think. I mean, the world's full of sick individuals. Jason Cicine, give her my Gmail, and thank you. Jason, you're on point there. You're welcome, Jay. Glad to see you on board. This is so hard. All right, Ricardo. Text me after I'm off Well, actually, no. I actually have to read in after this live, but you can still text me to remind me. I'll get to it when I can. Unfortunately, Spencer, no. No more questions. What's going on today? Maybe it's the heat. Spellbound when a gacha leaves Munanso Congo. That's another term that we use instead of, and so when they leave them, I mean the Munanso, when they leave the Munanso, if it's done correctly, which you should all the time, it's only for your benefit and nobody else's benefit. For the simple fact that if you do it correctly, you go in front of the Nganga and you bring whatever it is your godparent told you that it's required for you to walk away in front of Munanso. So when you are inside the Munanso Congo, you're gonna kneel in front of the Nganga and you're gonna bring whatever it is that they told you it was needed for you to break away. From that point on, the godparent will break that pact that the Nganga made with you at the day of the initiation. But it's gonna leave in good terms with you. You understand? So in the future, you guys left in good terms with the Nganga. In the future, even though your godparents might be mad at you, this and third, but you left. More importantly, you left in good terms with Nganga because the Munanso don't belong to the godparents. The Munanso belongs to the Mpungos. Okay, so let's just get that straight. A lot of people, no. You are not in Sasi. You're not Siterayo on earth. You are the child of him, and he is the one that controls what happens in that Munanso, especially in the Munanso Congo. Okay. So you can walk away and everything is good with you then Ganga. Now in the future, now humans are gonna get mad and humans are just gonna get eventually they get over it. So let's just say 5 years down the road you went down and you realized, dang, everybody I encountered after that Munanso is rotten. I would like to go back to that Munanso because 5 years ago I thought they were rotten, but actually, it was me. I was immature at that time. I didn't really see the things the way I should have seen it. Like I'm more mature now. I value certain things that I didn't value back then. So now you will go back. By now, I'm pretty sure that that godparent is willing to give you a second chance only the Mpungo say yes. Now you left in good terms. Of course, the Mpungo's going to say yes because you left the right way. You didn't discuss any of the secrets of that Munanso with the rest of those Munansos you encountered. So it's watching you. It's watched you all this time and it's willing to accept you. Jesus, okay, I will thank you. My life has been going great after visiting you. I'm glad I took the trip. You're welcome from the bottom of my heart. I told you I was gonna make things right for you. Roswan Malongo in Congo Kingdom. They use the Nkisi power figure as the Nganga is used in Palo today or similar fashion. Yes, except what we use the Nganga nowadays they're not like, let's say, the spirit of your uncle that passed away, or your cousin, or your grandfather, your grandmother, this and the third, like they did in Malongo. They only dealt with family, with blood. That's it. They didn't even contemplate ever of grabbing certain things of a deceased person in order to incorporate their energy into their religious things. And that came about. It was just, it had to happen in order for the religion to have survived across the ocean, plain and simple. So when we talk about Malongo and Palo, it's two different worlds by far. But good question, Ross. Ross won. Alexa, so if your Tata dies, is the pack broken if your Yagi doesn't have Nganga? Well, somebody had to inherit that Nganga, or it had to be ceremonially dismounted, broken apart and ceremonially released from that bond and taken back, because at the end of the day, everybody's gonna suffer. You have something that's loose spiritually, it's powerful and it's loose and knows it has nobody controlling it, so it's gonna do like a child. It's gonna do what it cares, what it wants. So you guys have to take care of that situation. That don't sound too well. Jesús, ¿cómo está, agua? So far, that is the sun. I mean, that is the heaven, the cielo. You're welcome, Ross. Well, sick wisdom, it's not that they shouldn't be in the house. That has to be taken care of ASAP. Seriously, you do not want to have that type of force. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you one thing from the bottom of my heart. I don't care if you have 12 kids. I don't care if you have 6 brothers, 4 sisters. You have the biggest family, that they all love you to death. But the moment that you pass away, that you go back home, the one that truly suffers for you is your Nganga. That is how deep it's going to suffer for you. This is why for 9 days, nobody's allowed to go in that room to the 9th day. And if they already have picked somebody to inherit it, on the 9th day, they do the ceremony in order to disperse the energy of the previous person and now just make the pact with the new person with the Nganga. But you have to give it 9 days. We'll talk about that, Ricardo. That is only pertaining to Olsign, or should I say Gulumfinda. When we talk about Palo, or you talking Olsign of Ocha? Gulumfinda and Palo, or Olsign and Ocha? Cecine, thank you very much for your video and bringing things to light for me. Unfortunately, most people make Mayombe sound evil and dark, and sometimes it turns people away. I thank you for shedding light. You're welcome. Well, like I said, well, Spencer, I do sell Mpolos, but depending what types of Mpolos, because I'm not going to give a lunatic this type of Mpolo right here. But let me get back to what Cecine said. Yeah. Besides the fact that a lot of people were coming to me after they got scammed, this is the third, in the religion, I also Another reason that I made an effort to start doing this these videos, because other than that, anybody that knows me, I'm not in Facebook, I'm not in Instagram, none of that, none of that. But I decided to put myself out there and do something that I was not comfortable with. And that's sitting in front of a camera and just talking to strangers, and especially about this religion. But this is the way I talk. I keep it where I never cross that boundary where I'm exposing the secrets. You understand? So that was another reason, because every time anybody mentioned Palo, they the same thing they do with voodoo. When you mention voodoo, people cringe. When you mention Palo, they also cringe. Ocha is more tolerable, but it's not accepted with open arms. But it's more accepted than voodoo or Palo. So for a number of reasons, this is why I decided to make these videos, because I'm trying to open the veil so people can see the light, see the truth. Palo is here to help humanity, even though the practitioners of this beautiful religion called Palo Mayombe have used it to manipulate, to put fear in godchildren and normal civilians, your neighbor, this and the third. If you don't do what I say, I'm gonna sick these spirits on you. This is blah blah blah. And all they want to do is brag about all the bad works that they have done. Now, I don't give a damn of how much bad work you've done. Anybody can do that. Any engager right now, I can teach them how to do bad work, because the energy is much easier to grab out this air and put it in that cauldron and transfer from that cauldron onto that paperwork and those ingredients, and we can manifest that type of work. Now come to me and say, you know how many people I cured of this and that, doing cleansings, change, cambio de vida, change of life, this and the third. That is super hard to do. I don't want to hear about the negativity. Negativity is easy. Let's compare the good. How many people can validate that they went to you so messed up and are now good? That is my argument. I don't want to hear all the I really don't, and I don't care. I don't care, because if you are stuck with just doing negativity, you have no religious ethics or morals to begin with. You're probably one of those cases where the godparents asked the Impungo if he accepted in Amulanzo, and they said 4 times in a row, they said no, but you kept on offering those people more and more money, and they sold their karma for money that they initiated you against the Impungo's word, okay? And this is why you got to the point the spirits knew you were a bad apple to begin with. But through the greediness of your godparents that you paid them off, they initiated you. Now they have to deal with you. Now you're harming. Now you have tools. Now you have a license. Now you learn this and the third, and now you're able to harm somebody. But I'm just going to tell you, at the end of the day, karma does not stay with anything that does not belong to it. If it's your karma, it's going to return it to you. It'll babysit your karma for a little bit, but it's going to smack you in the face sooner or later. So those are the people that you see them doing videos, and not just doing videos, but harming other people and bragging about it. And people hear this, and then from one person, it goes down the line to 50 people. Now people in that community have a bad image of Palo Mayombe because of people like that. But Palo is beautiful. But Palo is so beautiful. Palo is 90% greatness and 10% negativity. That's the way it's supposed to be. At the end of the day, I tell my godchildren, like I do, I guard my karma. I have to guard my karma. If I don't do it, you're not going to do it for me. At the end of the day, you're not going to have to stand in front of Nsambi looking down at his feet. It's going to be me. And I don't want to hear no questions, no sideways questions coming from him about why did I do this to to that person. No, that's not me. You can't hire me to be your spiritual hitman. Now, if it's different story, if this person is doing something to you, you hire me to break certain things, and in the course of me doing that, the spirit send that back to that person. That's a different story. I didn't strictly go in there and send him a bomb. It happened in the course of me helping you out. Yes, Jay, because negativity is everywhere. So at the end of the day, if you're one of those fools, if you one of those fools that you just want to brag about the negativity, let's just say I personally, I am encouraging karma to come down a little faster, to move a little faster. So far, of course, yes. The spirits will always be more drawn to paleros, even santeros, especially spiritistas, because that's another thing people ask. How can they build that connection with your spirit? I said it so much that I haven't said it in a while because I just got tired of saying it, but I'll say it one more time. Go to your spiritual altar. You don't have one? Create one. It's impossible for you not to have one if you're already initiated into the tradition. You want to get close to your spirits? Start with Espiritismo, your eguns, that white table there, where all kinds of spirits are able to go in and out through that dimension, but they're all in kind to your benefit. They're here for you and nobody else but you. Learn how to deal with them. Learn how to make that connection. I guarantee you that when you go from that world to Palo, it's like turning on the light. How you doing, Hammersmith? You're welcome, princess. Cecine, yes. So at the end of the day, if you don't have no more questions, I actually have to do a reading, and I don't want to keep this person waiting for too long. But it's been nice, been wonderful. It's been very pleasant spending time with you all here. So stay humble, be kind to one another. Until next time, may Sami bless you and yours. Salam alaikum.